big beautiful bill Medicaid cuts, I'm for it because I'm an able-bodied American citizen right now. I'm headed to work. I work at least 40 hours a week. People need to stop just getting free benefits. If you can go to work, you need to go to work because we're tired of paying for everybody. So Medicaid cuts, we're here for it.
It's my mother-in-law. She worked 40 hours a week too at the same company for 32 years, and she was union, and then she got brain tumors and she lost her health insurance because if you're not working, you're gonna lose your health insurance, and then Medicaid and Medicare kick in. Every single person is one tragedy away from having to be on Medicaid and Medicare. You're one brain tumor, one car accident, and for you specifically, looking at you, I can tell you're one heart attack away from needing Medicaid and Medicare. Now, I know that you think everybody that's on them is lazy illegals, but guess what? One day, you're gonna need it and you're not gonna have it. And it's not you that's paying everything. It's people like me, the younger generation, that are paying for that for you, for her. Now, thank God that she has successful children that can subsidize her way of life, because Medicare and Medicaid, it don't cover it all. You're going to be in poverty forever, and you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your home, you're going to lose everything that you ever worked for, and you're going to have to move in with your kids. So I hope that you have fucking rich kids, because you just made that little tiny entitlement that you're going to need fucking smaller. I would like people like you to think of the future. You're gonna need it. For you, it's probably gonna be a couple years, all right? Because I could tell you've probably been eating butter and fried chicken for the last 20 years.
Did you guys see that woman talking about her father getting kicked out of the nursing home? Well, apparently the nursing homes are kicking out their Medicare patients. And she was like, why would they do that? And everyone in the comments was like, honey, this is what you voted for. This is Medicare cuts. This is the big, beautiful bill. And she was like, no, that's not it. Yes, it is. I work in skilled nursing. 90% of the residents that are in there, they are Medicare patients. These buildings stay open because of Medicare. They will close down. They will not care for your aging parents and grandparents for free. They will send them home to you. You will have to quit your job and stay home and take care of them. That means you're going to have to be the caregiver for your father, your husband, your kids. You're going to have to quit your job. You're going to do all this on half the income for your household. This economy is going to suffer greatly when these places start closing down. This is one of the reasons, this is the main reason why I did not want to rely on the U.S. for my income while I'm living abroad. The economy here is bound to crash. When you cut Medicare like that and these places close, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. The dollar is going to suffer. There is no forethought with these people. They have no idea what is happening.
See, we told you that the plantation owner was going to screw you, and you didn't care, right? Because you thought if you voted for the clan leader that he would just hurt the brown people, right? The non-white people. That's not what I voted for. The fuck it is. It's exactly what you voted for. You voted for the misogyny. You voted for the racism. You voted for the cruelty on January 6th. You voted for the felonies. You voted for the tax fraud. You voted for the infidelities. And you thought that a guy on his third failed marriage while his newborn 2-week-old son was at home and had sex with an adult actress gives a shit about you? Yeah, you're totally not in a cult. But now your Medicaid's on the line. Oh no! Oh no, I'm being affected, not the brown people. Good. I don't want anybody to suffer. But you didn't care about women's rights. You didn't care about our black brothers and sisters. You didn't care about minorities. You didn't care about autistic kids that now can't get the special needs at school that they got. You didn't care about the kids going to school doing active firearm drills. You didn't care about people giving a living wage. You didn't care about any of that. All you saw was, oh my God, there's a black woman. I can't vote for her because, hold on, let me find a reason. Oh shit, it can't be racism. it can't be because she's a woman. Oh wait, I got a stimulus check. Oh yes, I got a stimulus check 5 years ago with the felon's name on it. Oh my God, he must care about me. Yeah, it was a double whammy, right? Not only was it a woman, it was a black woman, and that really tickled your fancy, didn't you? You just couldn't stomach the black man sitting in the White House instead of picking your cotton, and you lost your shit. And you went back to the most morally bankrupt, uneducated, pitiful excuse for a human being pile of shit because he was a white man, talking about Hannibal Lecter and electric sharks and how windmills cause cancer. And Vice President Harris using complete sentences, coherent thoughts, talking intelligently, presidential, not a convicted felon, not an insurrectionist, not a racist. That was a bridge too far, right? But she had a relationship 40 years ago. Oh, fuck off. Spare me your racist bullshit. You couldn't vote for the black woman. And now your whiteness is being jeopardized. You know what's funny? Michelle Obama, she told you this was going to happen. Another black woman that you refuse to listen to. They're pretty damn smart, aren't they? You know, if black women were running this country, we wouldn't be in this shit right now. But not you, not you little white supremacists. You want to make America white again. You always want the best candidate as long as it's a man and it's white. But the best candidate. Sure, Karen. You're going to go through it, little Timmy, Billy Bob in your trailer. You asked for it. And you're going to get a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of an inch of what it's like to be black. You were lied to. You were conned. You were manipulated. You were mistreated. And now you're going to lose your minds? Good for you. Thoughts and prayers.
An unemployed Trump voter who said they voted for Trump because he promised to kill Obamacare, but says he hopes Trump keeps his hands off the Affordable Care Act, which he relies upon. Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. Here's what this guy wrote online. He wrote the following, quote, I just voted for him because he's going to kill Obamacare. I am unemployed and Obamacare effing sucks. I'd rather just have the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, by itself instead of this communism shit. And then someone responded to him by saying, Obamacare is the ACA. It is literally keeping you alive. You voted to take away your health care. And then the original poster wrote back, quote, why the F do people have two different names for it? Obama equals bad and affordable equals good. I effing hate Democrats. Well, if you remember, it was the Republicans who branded it as Obamacare originally to try to scare people like you. Maybe your hate should be directed at those trying to take away your health care and not the people who are trying to actually save your life. How about that? Here's another story similar to that one. This person writes, quote, woman in my mom's group approved of abortion ban, grew a human with her POS husband. Husband now left. She voted for Trump because she is trad. It means like a traditional housewife. She is now complaining that Trump might take her Social Security because she did not think it applied to her. Only immigrants I want off this planet. Sometimes, me too. Quote, so we had a meeting at work with possible tariffs on vehicle parts. We are cutting holiday bonus because we have to stock up on parts. And my fellow coworkers who voted for this to happen had surprise Pikachu face, dumb Fs. One of you shared with us, I personally own a small business in the field of construction, and I could testify that my business has already started preparations for the tariffs. Prior to the election, I had conversations with suppliers and vendors about tariffs. Businesses are preparing. Americans can pretend that the tariffs aren't real, but I promise you that the rising prices and potential layoffs will be very, very real. Thank you. Quote, a, quote, family friend that voted for Trump found out that he is losing his job because the company is hunkering down for oncoming tariffs. I laughed in his face and said, I told you so. You could see his heart break. It was glorious.
Well, I think people are starting to see Medicaid. I've seen, I don't know, maybe 10 videos this morning. These poor people. They've lost their Medicaid. And at least the people in these videos, they don't have a pension. They don't have savings. Their Medicaid is what is paying for their medication predominantly. And they can't afford it. There was one gentleman that is on 23, I think he said, medications. Some basically, in his words, to sustain his life. And he can't afford them. And as I listened to these videos, I thought, God, like, how did we get here? That we are now taking benefits away from people. How did we get here? How did people vote for this? There were a couple Republicans on these videos, and they seemed absolutely shocked that they suddenly didn't have Medicaid. It was kind of like we thought Democrats were lying, and now we know they weren't. And just the vibe was, they were shocked. They were absolutely shocked. The others were Democrats, and they knew what was coming down the pipeline, didn't expect it so fast, I think. And, how do you have time to prepare for something, even if you know that it's coming, when you don't have the funds? They don't have the funds. And I feel so bad for these people. There's just, I don't have it in me to kind of go, at least in this moment, to go, like, we told you so. I've had moments of that, but we told you. But you listen to the guy that's on the list instead. It's heartbreaking. This one gentleman had to choose what he could afford, and he could only afford 7 of his 23 medications. Now, if you're in your 60s or older and you're on certain medications, normally, they're medications you absolutely need. So like thyroid, maybe, high blood pressure would be one. Your insulin. So, there's a long list. You guys can chime in with the other things that require consistent medicine. This is medicine. And I don't see the pharmaceutical companies stepping up to, lower prices or do anything. It's not going to happen. So what's going to happen to these people? Is this one person going to die because he can't get all of his meds? Or is he going to opt not to eat so he can buy his meds? I mean, these are real situations that people are finding themselves in now. And it makes me feel so grateful because, my husband was a firefighter. And so he has a pension. And I worked in medicine. And so, we have our retirement. We're okay. Thank goodness. There are a whole lot of people that are not, and there are even more that are about to find out they're not. And what's that going to create? We know that Maga tends to blame the Democrats for everything. Like, we're always to blame. How are they going to blame us for this? We don't have any power right now in the current administration yet. So they can't blame us. They can only blame Republicans. They can only blame the GOP for what's happening. I'm sure many of you saw that town hall with Mike Flood in Nebraska. And thank goodness the people are like rising up finally and calling these representatives and these senators out. He basically talked to these people who are my age and older. I'm going to be 60 this year, like they were babies, like they were little children. It was so disrespectful. And then he basically shouted, nobody gets free healthcare. So nonchalantly. He gets free healthcare because we pay for it. I think he forgot that. These people on the Hill do not care about us. They just don't. And something's got to give because people are going to start dying. It's a nightmare.
Hi guys, welcome back once again to my YouTube channel. I hope you have really watched the full combination of these clips, and all the credits goes to the original creator of the video. Okay guys, the Republicans and Maga supporters really went ahead and they voted to crash the big beautiful bills, and we have all seen how these Maga supporters, they have really came out in large number. They are really crying out for help of how they're losing their healthcare, and they're the ones who really crash it. This healthcare were really helping those poor people who didn't or who wasn't be able to afford to pay the hospital bills. This healthcare was really helping those rural people who couldn't able to accept to pay the bills of the hospital. But this Republican really went ahead and they crashed these healthcare, and they voted to crash the big beautiful bills. But right now they're really crying out for help of how they have lost their healthcare, and they're the ones who really voted for this. Remember, Trump is just doing what he promised these people, and he really promised them that maybe he will do these things. And one thing these people didn't know or didn't realize is that they are too selfish. They are being concerned when all these things are really affecting them a lot. But earlier on, when other races were people in America, when other people that are living in America were really crying out for help of how life it has been difficult, they really came out in large number and told them to pull out their. So right now, Maga supporters, they are losing their healthcare, they are losing their families due to deportation of all immigrants, because you have all seen how ICE agents they have really taken all over in America. They are going around there arresting people, detaining them and deporting them back to their country. And this is the reason why Maga supporters, they have really come out in large number. They are really crying out for help. They are losing their healthcare, they are losing their families because of ICE agents, how they are really terrorizing people in America. But people that really came out, the Democrats that really came out in large number, and they're telling them that you are the ones who voted for this. We really warned you, but you couldn't listen to us. Black people especially, they have really warned them. Black people, we do remember, they really warned these people a lot. They really warned these MAGA supporters to not to vote for this new administration, but they didn't listen. The MAGA supporters really warned them not to vote for this new administration, but they didn't listen. What they do, they really went ahead and vote for this new administration. They really went ahead and they voted for deportation of immigrants. They really went ahead and voted for maybe destruction of their farms, because black people really came out in large number and said that we are voting so that at least we can be able to care for your farms. At least we can be able to care for your health care. We are voting for at least America to be better or greater once again. But these people really went ahead and they voted against their own interest to destroy all these things. We have all seen how MAGA farmers, they really came out in large numbers, especially those Texas farmers, Nebraska's and Kansas farmers. They really came out in large number of how they are really losing their farms because of this Trump new tariffs. It has really affected them a lot. This Trump new tariff, it has really affected other countries whereby they can't be able to buy other food crop from these MAGA white farmers that are living in America. And right now they are being forced. Their food crops, they are rotting in their stores. Deportation, it has really affected a lot these farmers whereby those immigrants were the same people who are really working in these farms. Those immigrants were the same people who are really picking their food stuff in their farms, but they were convinced and they voted for the position of immigrant, putting in head that maybe black people will come and help them, but black people refused. Black people came out and said that we really want you, but you couldn't listen to us. You voted against your own interests, and you didn't want to vote for person or for any person who had a different skin color with you. So right now you just have to deal with your problem, because a lot of people, they have really came out in line number, especially white people, and they're really asking themselves, why do black people ain't concerned about this? Why do black people ain't complaining about this new economy, of how it has been tough, of how the cost of living it has been rising up? But the answer to this is that black people, they have been used to this for a very long period of time. They have been in this situation for a very long period of time, but they have been working up on their foot, praying to God to protect them and to guide them on how to survive in this land whereby hatred and racism is all over everywhere. When you are a black, it's so hard to live in this area because of hatred and racism. People, they are really looking at you like you are nobody. And this is the reason why black people, they have just relaxed. They are saying you just deal with your own problem, because we could have helped you, but you can you can just don't help anyone who really want you not to do that thing. We really want you not to vote for this new administration, but couldn't listen because you didn't want to vote for any other person who had a different skin color with you. So right now, they have really come out in large number of complaining of how life, it has really risen up. The cost of living has really risen up. People, they are losing their farms. Farmers, they are going bankrupt. These people are losing their health care. They are losing their families, but they're the one who voted for this. Trump is just doing what he promised these people to do. He will do to them. So guys, we really hope things could be better in America, and America could be greater once again. I really hope you are safe wherever you are, and if it was for the first time you come across my video, don't forget to like this video, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for your time. May God bless you whenever you are. One love.